December 26, 1944, Bastogne, Belgium. Snow covers the forests of the Ardennes. German artillery pounds American positions without mercy. The roads are blocked, the skies are gray, and thousands of Allied soldiers are trapped inside a shrinking pocket of resistance. For nearly a week, the Wehrmacht has surrounded the town, convinced that its defenders are running out of food, ammunition, and hope. German commanders believe surrender is only a matter of time. They don't know that several miles away, one American radio operator is about to send a message that will change everything. To understand why this single transmission caused so much concern among German commanders, you have to understand the situation inside Bastogne. The 101st Airborne Division and other American units are completely surrounded. Medical supplies are almost gone. Winter clothing is scarce. Artillery shells are carefully rationed. Every German attack grows stronger than the last, while every American soldier knows that if relief does not arrive soon, the town cannot hold forever. From the German perspective, victory seems inevitable. Intelligence officers report that the Americans are exhausted. Field commanders begin discussing what to do once Bastogne falls. The battle appears to be entering its final stage. Then, shortly after dawn, an American reconnaissance patrol breaks through German lines and makes contact with elements of General George Patton's Third Army advancing from the south. The discovery is immediately passed to a radio operator who transmits a brief message through the freezing airwaves. The words are simple, almost ordinary. American forces have reached the outskirts of Bastogne. The encirclement is beginning to crack. Pause for a second. Imagine you are a German battalion commander listening to intercepted radio traffic. For days, you have been told the Americans are isolated. You believe every hour weakens them further. Then suddenly, you hear evidence that an entire American army is pushing toward your flank. Everything changes. The battle is no longer about destroying a trapped enemy. It becomes a race against time. German headquarters quickly realizes the danger. Hitler's Ardennes offensive depends on speed. Every division committed to Bastogne is a division that cannot continue driving toward the Meuse River. Every hour spent attacking the town allows Patton's armored columns to move closer. Orders are issued to intensify the assaults, but the defenders refuse to collapse. American artillery continues firing. Machine guns continue sweeping the roads. Small groups of paratroopers continue holding crossroads and foxholes despite the freezing weather and constant shelling. By the afternoon of December 26th, Patton's lead elements finally break through to Bastogne. The siege is not completely over, but the impossible has happened. Supplies begin flowing into the town. Wounded soldiers can finally be evacuated. Reinforcements arrive. The defenders who had been expected to surrender are now preparing to fight even harder. German officers understand the opportunity has slipped away. After the war, several German commanders admitted that Bastogne consumed far more time and resources than expected. What had seemed like an easy victory became one of the greatest obstacles to Hitler's final offensive. The American radio message itself was not frightening because of the words it contained. It was frightening because of what those words meant. They announced that the trap had failed. The isolated defenders were no longer alone. Behind that short transmission stood hundreds of Sherman tanks, thousands of fresh soldiers, endless convoys of fuel and ammunition, and an American army that was still advancing despite snow, mud, and fierce resistance. Military history often remembers great speeches and famous orders, but sometimes a war turns on a message no longer than a sentence. A voice over a crackling radio can destroy months of planning, force commanders to abandon their expectations, and convince an entire army that victory is slipping away. In the frozen forests around Bastogne, one simple transmission carried a truth the Wehrmacht had hoped never to hear. The Americans were coming. And once they arrived, Hitler's last great gamble in the West would never recover. The Wehrmacht had faced powerful armies before, but there was one sound that many German veterans later remembered with equal dread. It wasn't a radio call. It was the distant rumble of American artillery preparing to fire. Why did German soldiers fear it so much? That's the story we'll uncover in the next documentary.